This Ecoflow Wave 2 is gaining popularity recently. I bought one myself, so let's see how it works. This will be an open box first. Should be the add-on battery I had. So, user's manual, the battery itself, and a connector. So not too much to see right here. This is the main interest. The AC itself. Some shroud, some ducting hose. Okay, here's the portable AC itself. It should just clip in. Yeah, it's in the rail now. So easy. Yeah, did you hear that clip? That's installed. Alright, so there are plenty of people on YouTube that's making videos about this, but I'm gonna do something different. If you want to hear what's the pros, how good it is, go watch some other people's videos. I'm gonna do cons only. I'll tell you everything that's not so good about this AC. And let me test it first. So according to the manufacturer's instruction, this should be set straight, facing up, like this, for 2 hours once received, because the refrigerations need to settle down in the compressor, something like that. But it's in my car for more than 2 hours now. I'm gonna just turn it on. I need to connect this battery cable. Okay, it goes in like that. Okay, it's turned on now. Battery is only on half. It's on the cooling mode. Okay, let's see. Yeah, see, there's airflow right now, and this is the heat rejection part. You see, the airflow is pretty big. This part is the suction. So these two are supposed to go inside, and these two will have a hose that's directing the airflow to the outside. And we have airflow on both these two sides. There is one downside that I already felt during the process of purchase. That's this battery. This unit uses 48 volt. That I found out the compressor is 48 volt. How would I expect it to work is just you can plug in a 48 volt battery and it will work on any 48 volt battery, right? But no, you have to buy this battery for it to work on DC. If you just plug it in to a 48 battery source, well, first thing, you cannot plug it into a 48 volt battery because this connector is a proprietary cable. So you can't just feed in 48 volt plus and minus and hope it'll work. It will not. It has some communication between these two. And then what's the options are then? Well, I mean, you can plug in AC 120 volt, hook up into an inverter. It will sure work. But then that comes a downside as well. So you basically lose a little bit efficiency using AC. As I said, this compressor is 48 volt. So you input a 120 volt AC, it will need to convert it back to 48 volt. So that conversion will cause some loss and then that will reduce the efficiency. This whole unit, the point is to have it on high efficiency and will save power. Then this conversion lowers the efficiency, then it defeats the purpose, right? Well, it also says on the website, you could feed in 12 volt, you could feed in solar and I believe 12 to 60 volt. But then if you're just using DC or solar, you cannot have this AC. I mean, you cannot have air conditioner working. The reason is, I mean, for solar I cannot understand because solar input can be unstable, and then if you have unstable power feeding into the compressor, it will damage it or maybe even destroy it. But then why can't you feed in a 24-volt battery to it and have it work? Well, still no, because you need to have this battery to stable the voltage. In other words, there's only two ways for the air conditioner to work. You need to either have an AC feeding or you have to have this battery. Right? That's a huge downside. And this battery is not cheap. It's like $600 and you have to buy it. Well, here is my setup. Got the hose directing out to the window here, and these two hoses, one for the intake, one for the output, and a window cover right here just to have it temporarily working. And here is the sound of it. I mean, it's not super loud. It's definitely a lot quieter than the rooftop AC, but again, it's not like mini split quiet. I guess the compressor is inside as well, so it won't be as quiet as the mini split. So noise level, I mean, it's okay, acceptable. The output flow of air is actually pretty strong. And the temperature today is not super hot at 28 degrees Celsius. That's about 75, 80 degrees, something like that. Let's see how well it will cool our living area. Running for about an hour or so. And let's see how much it used. Well, it used about 30% of the battery, and we are drawing 400 watts right now, 435 watts. And it has been on max power all the time. So, I mean, realistically, you can expect about 3 to 4 hours of running time. It is definitely not 8 hours in realistically speaking, but I mean it's usable. It's okay, understandable. Now let's see the temperature. Well, unfortunately, it did not drop too much temperature. I mean, the living room of the coach is about 150 square foot or so. It's just not enough power to keep it cool. It's barely maintaining the temperature. But again, this is not its designed function, so I mean, I can accept that. Here's the AC in real life action. We are at the parking lot, and it's not super hot today, but we do have some sun. And one of them is the heat rejection outlet. This is the air in. And I set it to be 25 Celsius, 75 Fahrenheit. And let me feel the inside. Yeah, it's pretty cool in there. Definitely not hot. It's not super cold, but yeah, Timmy must feel pretty comfortable like this.
Where is the air conditioner?
It's in the back seat, right here. See the two air hoses goes to this window. I made a piece like that, and then the AC is here, and Timmy just sits right over here. We have the temperature inside being 24.7 Celsius. For about three hours of running, gets down to very low, like 10-15%. Probably can go for another half an hour, but that's it. So you want those hoses to be as apart as possible, so this air inlet doesn't suck the hot air coming out from here. And you can't feel it, but this is hot, which is good. So again, let's see what downside we have. One thing it happened to me is I set it to be drain free, but last time I moved this thing, I had a lot of water coming out through these grills. So even though it is drain free, once you finished using it, you want to dump the water from the back, of course, before you store it. And I'm pretty sure we got plenty of water in there. Let me try to dump it. like it doesn't quite go out where I want it. I'm imagining it going out from here, but it actually just goes everywhere. Another thing is, this plastic is not super sturdy. I mean, if I hold on this handle, you might hear the inside is kind of flexing a little bit. The plastic could be a little bit better. But well, again, it does work, just a little bit nitpicking here. It's not as sturdy as my Blue Eddy power station. There's another small problem. See these holes here? It's supposed to be clipped on right there. You want it to be on there good, and you want it to be secured, but I think it's unnecessarily tight. And you really need some force to get it off. Yeah, let's see this one. Oh, this one's loose. Yeah, this one's okay. Maybe I pre-loose this. I don't know. This one's alright. So with that, it concludes my sort of review of the Ecoflow Wave 2. And thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one.